Tree, coming to you from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library in Charlotte, North Carolina. And today I'm going to share with you a sensory story time all about being you. Because I love being me. And I know you love being you. And that's what makes each of us so special, is that each of us is so different. And so we are going to celebrate those differences today. And so, what we're going to do today is we are going to start off with a rhyme. Then we're going to do a little bit of did you know about something that makes me me and that makes you you and that we don't have in common. But that's what makes us so unique. After that, we are going to share a book about being you. And then we're going to do a very fun rhyme about our emotions, because emotions are one of the things that make us who we are, about the way we understand and can express ourselves. And then I'm going to show you a fun activity that you can do at home. All you need is paper, some magic markers, and a stamp pad. If you don't have a stamp pad, it's okay. You can just use magic markers. And so, let's see. That's right. That means we're beginning with a rhyme today. So can you show me your 10 fingers? I have 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. 2 little arms, and 1 little nose. 1 little mouth and 2 little ears. 2 little eyes for smiles and tears. 1 little head and 2 little feet. 1 little chin, and that's me, complete. And so that was our rhyme for today, which means it is now time for Did You Know? So we're going to start my Did You Know with a riddle. What is something you always have with you and always leave behind? What is something I always have with me but always leave behind? What could it be? I know. It's my fingerprints. Each one of us has a set of fingerprints, and my fingerprints are not the same as anybody else's fingerprints, and your fingerprints are not the same as anybody else's fingerprints. Fingerprints are simply ridges of skin, and they can come in 3 different patterns. Some of us are going to have fingerprints that look like loops. About 60% of us will have fingerprints that look like loops. Those are the most common. 35% of us are going to have circular or spiral patterns, and those are called whorls. And lastly, there are some of you out there who are very unique. There are 6% of us that are going to have a wave-like pattern or shape, and those are called arches. But only 6% of us are going to have fingerprints that are shaped like arches. I wonder what kind I have. I wonder what kind you have. Well, it is our fingerprints, which are made of raised patterns of skin, that make it possible for us to, do you see what I'm doing? I'm holding a pencil. It's these raised patterns of skin that make it possible for us to pick up things, like my pencil or my cards that let us know what we're doing. Because if we didn't have fingerprints, anything we picked up would fall right out of our hands. So it's a great thing that we have fingerprints. But we are not the only things on this planet that have fingerprints. Did you know that there's an animal out there that has fingerprints that look almost identical to humans? See if you can guess what it is. What is that? That's right, it's a koala bear. Koalas have fingerprints that look almost identical to humans. And our fingerprints never change, even as we get older. And so that is just a little bit of did you know about something that makes me me and makes you you. And so that means, that's right, it's time for our book. And for this book, we are going to share one called Be You by Peter H Reynolds. And this was published in 2020 by Orchard Books. So Be You by Peter H Reynolds. You were born to be so many things. My wish for you, no matter where your journey leads, is for you to always be you. Be ready to take that next step toward being an amazing human being. Be curious. Turn every stone. Ask every why. And keep digging deeply. Discover your own answers. Be adventurous. Live a big life. When you are ready, step outside your comfort zone. Bravely explore new paths and see where they lead you. Be connected. Find kindred spirits. Be with those who make you feel like the real you. Be persistent. Keep going. Never stop. Keep going. Never stop. Keep going. Never stop. Be different. Be silly. Be quirky. Be odd. Be unique. Be weird. Be colorful. Be okay with being different. Be just the way you are. Be kind. Be understanding. Help those around you to be themselves. Listen. Then listen some more. Learn more about who they are. Be brave. Try new things. Take a deep breath and plunge forward into new experiences. It gets easier every time you try. Be your own thinker. Think for yourself and set your own unique course. It isn't always easy, but you'll be heading in the direction of you. Be okay being alone. Take time to be on your own. Hear your own thoughts, your inner voice. Listen to your heart. Be patient. Being more you takes time. Take a deep breath and relax. Let your future unfold at its own pace. It will be worth the wait. Be okay reaching out for help. When you need a helping hand, a compassionate ear, an encouraging word, reach out. As you voyage out into the world, remember, no matter what, you will always be loved. You are ready. So, go ahead. Be you. Be very, very you. And that is the end of Be You by Peter H. Reynolds. And so that means we have done our book, which means it's time for a rhyme. Now, you may notice on the board behind me that I have some faces. Well, those faces all express different emotions because our emotions are one of the things that make me, me, and you, you. So we're going to explore our emotions. And what emotion is this? I think they look happy. Are you ready to be happy with me? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Oh no. What does this one look like? Do you ever feel like this? I'm surprised. So let's ready. You guys ready to be surprised with me? If you're surprised and you know it, say, oh my. If you're surprised and you know it, say, oh my. If you're surprised and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're surprised and you know it, say, oh my, oh my. But sometimes we feel a little blue, like this. And that means we're sad. You see, sometimes we cry. So, if you're sad and you know it, say boo-hoo, boo-hoo. If you're sad and you know it, say boo-hoo, boo-hoo. If you're sad and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're sad and you know it, say boo-hoo, boo-hoo. But sometimes something startles us. And we get, oh no, scared. Do you ever get scared? I know, it happens. So, if you're scared and you know it, shiver and shake. Oh, if you're scared and you know it, shiver and shake. Oh, if you're scared and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're scared and you know it, shiver and shake. Oh no. But sometimes we don't get scared. We get angry. So can you be angry with me? We're going to stomp our feet. If you're angry and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're angry and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're angry and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're angry and you know it, stomp your feet. Good job. And sometimes we're just who we are and we get to be silly. So can you guys be silly with me? You ready to be silly? If you're silly and you know it, make a funny face. If you're silly and you know it, make a funny face. If you're silly and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're silly and you know it, make a funny face. Good job, everybody. So that was our rhyme, which means it's now time for me to share with you an activity that you can do at home that will prove how unique you are by using those amazing fingerprints that each of us have. So you'll need a piece of paper, some markers, and a stamp pad. Remember, if you don't have a stamp pad, you can just use markers. So I did happen to have a stamp pad at home. But if you don't have a stamp pad, you can just use markers to color the tips of your fingers. Make sure they're washable though, so they wash off. But all you're going to do is color your finger. You see my finger's now green. And then you're going to get out a blank piece of paper and you are going to put your fingerprint down and make some amazing art. And so I made a fingerprint train and I made fingerprint flowers and a butterfly and the sun and this was my favorite one to make. Just because I like them. I made frogs and bees. And so all I did was I stamped my fingerprint down, and then with my markers, I added eyes and legs and wings and whatever else it may be. But each of these bits of art is a piece of me because they're made with my fingerprints that only I have. And you can make art with your fingerprints that only you have. And you can be you, and I'll be me. So, library friends, that is the end. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you want to learn more about fingerprints or your emotions, or just about being you, or just looking for a fun story, you can visit the Charlotte Mecklenburg Library website, where you can find more materials and resources if you have a library card or a CMS One Access account. So thank you all for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. So go out there and be you.